Good. Wouter, at what point did you decide that you just had to become a musician?
I think it was at the moment that I was playing in the National Youth Orchestra, and I really experienced how a good orchestra can function and how people are interacting with the music. And I think that was really the moment that I decided there's only one option for me, and that's going to be a musician. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And was there something about the music you were playing? Maybe
I think it was a combination of things. It was the way you were interacting within your own group and listening to each other and making sure everything was really like perfect, and also the kind of music that I was playing. I mean, like most of the wind players, I was coming from a wind orchestra, and which was very nice. And that was the first time that we were really like working with all kind of string players and the big symphonies. And then I knew for sure this is it for me. Yeah.
And growing up, did you play in the town band?
Yeah, sure. I started when I was 6, like a drummer boy in our wind band, and when I was like 10, I changed to trombone, and when I was 15, to bass trombone, and all in our local wind band. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
that seems to have a big influence on people here. Is playing in that town band.
Yeah, it's still in Holland, luckily, a very big thing, all these amateur wind bands, and they are really, in all village you have at least one of these bands, and which is very good. You really can experience how to play in an orchestra, and you have smaller and bigger ones, of course, and very bad ones and very good ones, and everything in between. But for a lot of people, that's the starting point, getting used to playing in an orchestra, listening, make nice music. So it's a great thing, I think. It's a good start. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what has been your most memorable musical experience?
I think that was it's quite a time ago, but it was Mahler's Sixth Symphony with Valery Gergiev in the Mariinsky Theater in St. Petersburg. I think I was playing together with my teacher Ben van Dijk, and I think that was really one of the biggest highlights for me that I can remember. Yeah, it was a very nice thing to do. Yeah, also the atmosphere there, really in Russia with this great Russian conductor and a great orchestra, the Rotterdam Philharmonic. So it was a complete thing for me. Yeah.
So when you play that piece, once in a while, does it bring you back to that moment when you're playing with Ben?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Actually, I played it quite a lot, this Sixth Symphony, and I really love it from the first note until the last note, and it still brings back these good memories to me. Yeah. It's a good thing.
Now, what do you think orchestras or music organizations can do better to grow and cultivate their audience?
I think within all these organizations, the most important thing is make sure that the children that are in school get used to listening to music, and it can be all kind of music. I mean, I love jazz music, I love world music, I love pop music, but when people are not able to listen to it, when people have never listened to it anyhow from within their families or whatever, it's very important that at school you learn how to play music. So I think there's a very big role for us also as professional musics to go to schools and to show them what music is all about, and also make sure that schools are really coming to the rehearsals, are coming to the orchestras, and to tell them about the music, to tell them what's the most important thing, what should you listen to, what's the story behind it. And I think when you start with all these children listening to it in a better way, you will have all the audiences of the future. So I think really to start from the very beginning, that's the most important thing. Yeah.
And that seems kind of a bit unique in the Netherlands in that there's all these orchestras and there's all these town bands. Like you said, every town has their own band. It's been tradition now for a very long time.
Yeah.
And musicians are generally pretty excited to work with children and to work with the community in other ways.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a reason why the Netherlands became kind of a cultural beacon for everything.
Yeah.
Not just music, but also theater and dance.
And that's a great thing. Fortunately, of course, the government are now changing here such a lot of things that it's only becoming less in the future. But I think it should be very important for us as musicians, for us as artists, to really make sure that this is continuing in the future. And that starts within the schools, but also indeed in the local town. I'm a conductor myself within a wind band, and that's very nice to do, because people that are never going to concerts, you can really say to them, come. I mean, I was working in the Flemish Opera in Belgium for about 5.5 years, and I really made sure that people that are normally working in a garden or like a mechanic, that they come to an opera and to listen to it. And most of the people who had really this ideas, yeah, it's nothing for me and it's only the screaming on stage, they really were completely flabbergasted when I really got there. So that's a good thing, getting people out and take them to the concert hall.
And did their minds or their ideas change about
Sure,
opera?
absolutely. Yeah. A lot of people said, okay, when can we come back? It's a great thing. We want to see more of this. But yeah, you of course, when you've never been there and you only hear things on the radio, yeah, you have a completely different opinion than when you are in the theater, listening to it and seeing everything what is happening. So yeah, I think it's very important to just make sure that everybody will be able to go to a theater or a concert and experience it. Yeah.
Right. Now, what's one thing that you would change about the business of music?
That's a hard question, of course. I think
Yes.
I think one of the most important things is still indeed what I was already talking about, going to even more, making sure that these children are really educated well in music. And I think a lot of people already think that that's a very good system that we have here, but I think that's really an important thing for us to do, and there's really a role to the professional musicians within the orchestra to make sure it will be very accessible for everybody. Yeah. So what they really shouldn't do is raise the prices for the concert hall, making it more expensive, making it elite sport or something like it.
Right.
It should be very accessible for everybody. That's very important to me. Yeah.
Now, if you could just have one night play your just dream piece of music with your dream orchestra, your dream conductor, whether it's as a soloist or in the orchestra or in the band or anything, what would that be for you?
Yeah, there are a lot of choices for great
Yes.
music. I mean, when it would be a concert, I would love to play a Mahler, I think. Yeah. Maybe even Mahler 6 or Mahler 2nd Symphony. These are my really big favorite Mahler symphonies. So that would be a great thing. And Bernhard Haitink is, of course, the great option for a conductor then.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit thinking I would also like to play again Turandot of Puccini, which is really one of my favorite operas. I've did it a couple of times on concert bass trombone. Yeah, when you will be able to do that with a great Italian conductor or something, it's also a good option. But I'll stick to Mahler 2nd Symphony with Haitink. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.